Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. 8 a.m. on the dot. Maybe 8:01. Maybe we're like 30, 40 seconds off here. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. This is the Sliwa Show, of course, Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Doing the post-game show as well. Did the post-game show last night. Got a post-game show coming up tonight after Lakers take on the San Antonio Spurs. Just a quick reminder here, no shows tomorrow and Friday. I'll do post game on Friday, but I will not do the daily show. This could very well happen. I might record a segment. I mean, if the Dodgers decide that they're going to go sign 19 more players and every other free agent that's available, then maybe I'll do a show. If something significant happens with the Lakers, maybe I'll record a show. Something along those lines. But my plan is not to do a show tomorrow and on Friday, but I will do the post-game show tonight. I'll do the post-game show on Friday night. If you guys don't mind, just a quick little reminder here. We are closing in, getting a little closer to 27,000 subscribers on this channel. I appreciate it very much. If you have yet to subscribe, please subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of stuff to get into today. Of course. I'm going to just double check one thing here, make sure we're all good. All right. Okay. We got everybody here. Happy Wednesday. People already upset about the Lakers. I haven't even started talking about them yet. I completely understand where you're coming from. Here are the topics for today's show. As you guys can see right here, very, very beautifully laid out. I mean, I don't know who does all the artwork for this show. I haven't met them because that's how big this team is right now. I got a staff of 88 people. What do you want me to meet every single one of these people? I don't have time to meet these people. I don't care about their lives. I'm worried about my own life. All right, maybe I did the artwork. As you guys can see, all the topics here. Big story today is going to be about the Dodgers, and it's going to be about their signing of Blake Snell. We'll kind of look at what that rotation is potentially going to be. Obviously, Blake Snell, part of the San Diego Padres 2 years ago, part of the Giants yesterday. And now last year, and now he's going to be a Dodger for a number of years, signed a multi-year contract. I'm going to spend a little bit of time. Here's what I'm going to ask people. I'm going to ask specifically, I know there's a lot of Dodger fans on here. Why? Because basically this entire channel was built on Lakers basketball, so you could kind of tell. And I have an audience in LA. I'm going to ask Dodger fans to really, really help me out with this, okay? I really want Dodger fans to try to look at what's happening in baseball right now from another perspective. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know if I could rely on you guys, even though I have faith. I believe that you guys are going to be able to look at the what the Dodgers are doing right now. Is this good for baseball? Is it not good for baseball? And it's not the Dodgers' fault. The Dodgers are supposed to do exactly what they're doing. But I do want to spend some time on that, so we'll do that. Lakers blown out again. 2 straight losses, get their absolute asses handed to them against the Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. I got some concerns about the Lakers. Got to be honest with everybody. I got some concerns about the Lake Show and specifically what is happening in the second half. How come all of a sudden there is fight or there isn't fight from this Lakers team? I got some issues there. Dalton Knecht out of the starting lineup. Can we go ahead and probably put him right back into the starting lineup? I'm not telling you that if he was in the starting lineup, Lakers were going to win both of those games. But why don't we go ahead and let the guy that has been by far the biggest story for the Lakers all year, let's go ahead and throw him back in the starting lineup and give him 30-plus minutes a game because I don't really have too much more hope in some of the other players that are in there. Ask Lee. We do that on every single Wednesday. If you got some Ask Lee questions, if you don't know what Ask Lee is, throw any question my way. Could be sports related, preferably not sports related. I'll give you guys kind of the quick spread of what Thanksgiving is going to look like, and then we'll go from there. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, and let's get this show started. People can say, Al, where's your cup of coffee? It's right here. It's right here. I don't really think there's much steam coming out, but I'm on cup 1.5. I'll be honest. Sometimes I get in here. Sometimes I get, I like this. They're already angry. It's not the lineup, Slee. It's not the line. I don't care what it is. Why don't you just throw Dalton Knecht in the starting lineup? The guy's been unbelievable this year. Put Dalton Knecht in the starting lineup. It might not be the lineup. They can't play a lick of defense, but we'll keep this thing going. So a couple of the comments here. Everybody saying top of the morning. Good morning. Good morning to all of you guys as well. The mug is back. Yeah, forgot the mug yesterday, but it's back today. So we're back. All right. Big news last night. What time did this go down? I think it went down during the Laker game. News comes out that the Dodgers are signing Blake Snell. Okay. They're not just signing him to this. He had signed a 2-year deal with San Francisco. I think it was 2 years, 60 and some change. And then he had a player option basically to decide, hey, if I could hit the free agent market again, I'm going to go try to get a multi-year deal. It's exactly what Blake Snell did. I never really thought, I know Blake Snell's name was thrown around with the Dodgers, but who knows what the Dodgers are going to do? Are they saying to themselves, we don't need a guy like Snell. We're going to go get Roki Sasaki. Are they saying to themselves, we got so many of these other pitchers that are going to be coming back. They're going to be healthy. Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. And oh, by the way, Ohtani is going to be pitching. You knew they were going to target a starting pitcher. I just didn't know it was specifically going to be Blake Snell, and it was 5 years and $182 million. That's a very healthy contract. Blake Snell got paid. He's had a tremendous career so far, one of the few pitchers in Major League Baseball history to have a Cy Young in the AL and a Cy Young in the NL. So give this man a lot of credit. He's not perfect, but when that dude is on, he's as filthy as any pitcher in Major League Baseball. So last night during the Laker game, find out. How did I find out? I found out because I got some buddies of mine, some cousins, buddies, texting me and saying the Dodgers just got Blake Snell. He's got a physical coming. He's got deferred money, $52 million. Or I think his deferred is like $60 million is what I thought I read yesterday. But I'll get deferred money is going to be a completely separate contract. The bottom line is one of the best pitchers available in baseball has now chosen a new home. And he's chosen a new home in the team that probably needs the least help. That's where he's going. You guys are going to understand that this show today, and everybody kind of knows, my affiliations and this and that. You guys, there's going to be an underlying theme here in today's show when I talk about the Dodgers. The Dodgers are doing what every Major League Baseball, any team out there in sports, you're hoping have the want and the will to win like the Dodgers. The ownership, you're hoping that your squad, your team, has the want and the will to win like the Dodgers do. Dodgers just didn't go out there and get nobody. They obviously got one of the top players or one of the top pitchers in baseball. I saw this. Snell's $36.4 million average salary would rank as the 5th highest among active deals behind Shohei, behind Zach Wheeler, behind Aaron Judge, and behind Jacob deGrom. Now, that will change. Juan Soto is going to get paid wherever that ends up. It's going to be obviously at least his average salary per year is going to be one of, let's call it top 7, 8, something like that. Let's let the rest of free agency play out. But it's a significant contract. One of the things that instantly kind of goes to my head when I see what the Dodgers did in signing Blake Snell, 2 things did. One of the things is they really have changed their model of business since they signed Shohei Ohtani. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When Glasnow signed last year with the Dodgers, I remember, being on the Travis and Sliwa show. I'm doing the show with Travis, and one of the points I kept making is, wow, Trev, that's really not a Dodger type of deal. What I mean by that is the Dodgers typically, they're also as much of an organization as they are, where they have all the resources. They're in the number 2 market in the country. They're selling out 50,000 plus seats a game. They're also frugal with their money. They're smart with their money. Imagine that combination, the combination of somebody who's got all the money you could possibly think of, and they shop at Nordstrom Rack. Now, they'll go to the main Nordstrom store. They'll go to a Bloomingdale's when they need to, for the right occasion. But they're also saying to themselves, can I save can I say 50% on this deal by going to Nordstrom Rack? Dodgers they're smart with their money. It's the best way that I can put it. They have the money, they have the resources, but they're smart with how they spend it. Put that to the side for a quick second. When they signed Tyler Glasnow, it was, wow, they're committing to a pitcher. Nobody's questioning, can Glasnow ball out? They're questioning, hey, this guy's had a lot of health issues. Are you sure you want to sign him to a 5-year deal? The Dodgers don't typically do that. They did that. And let's play out last year was a perfect example. When Glasnow was on the mound, he was incredible. Was he there for the playoffs? He wasn't. Literally how his entire career has played out last year perfectly to a T. Blake Snell is another pitcher that I think the Dodgers are saying this is the position that they're in. I think everything changed when they signed Shohei Ohtani. I think Blake Snell, the way they're looking at him is, we don't care if of course they want this player available. Of course they're hoping that Blake Snell is, part of your lineup when you get into the postseason. But they're being less, let's go to Nordstrom Rack. They're basically just saying, you know what? F it. It's almost like for the first time, the Dodgers are saying to themselves, we're going to take some risks. Some of them are going to work. Some of them are not going to work. We don't have to guarantee that the risk is going to work. Mookie Betts is basically a guarantee. Freddie Freeman, his 6-year contract was a guarantee. Go down the list of different players that have been with the Dodgers. Not all of them have worked. Some guys that came through their farm system, like Corey Seager, they've walked away. They're like, no, we're not going to pay that money. Trey Turner, whether he wanted to stay with the Dodgers or not, no, we're not going to pay that much money. But now it feels like since they signed Shohei, and part of this probably has to do with they are printing money. All I see all the time is that, this country is in debt. This country's, how many trillions of dollars in debt. Just go ask the Dodgers for some money. If this country wants to get back on track, they're printing money at Dodger Stadium. See if you can get a loan from the Dodgers. That's one of the things that stood out to me. It's like, wow, they invested big time in Snell. 5 years, $182 million. One of the things with Snell has been more his consistency and his availability. They don't care. They feel like, just come to this team and we'll figure it out. I wouldn't be surprised as well. You saw a lot of reports. This was when the Roki Sasaki stuff was coming out. There were a lot of reports out there that they may very well go to a 6-man rotation. Well, maybe that 6-man rotation concept that the Dodgers have in mind, maybe, just maybe it's going to say, well, we're going to give Glasnow less innings in a year because we're going to have more top-notch pitchers that are available. We don't have to give Snell 200 innings, which he's not going to give you that anyways. Well, he may. But you're not going to ask these guys. Think about how many other teams that are out there, and you got your ace and you're handing him the ball. And then at best, you got a second guy that you feel confident with. And then by the time you get to that third pitcher, it's like, we got to freaking use all these guys, and we got to use them all regular season because we're just trying to get into the postseason. Dodgers are not going to have to worry about that. That doesn't guarantee Blake Snell health. It doesn't guarantee Yamamoto health. It doesn't guarantee any of these guys' health. But they have basically stacked the deck and just said, F it. We'll worry about that down the road. I almost feel like there is this handshake deal with Shohei Ohtani when he signed. And it was basically like, I'm going to make you guys so much effing money. And oh, by the way, I'm deferring all this money. You better go sign the top players and the top free agents and the top pitchers. Don't disappoint me. And the Dodgers said, yes, sir. Whatever it is that you need, we're going to go accommodate. This is the potential rotation for the Dodgers next year. All right, let me kind of go through this. Not in any order. I'm pointing them out. Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, and Blake Snell will be your top 4 pitchers. Okay, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. However they want to put that lineup. Think about the third best pitcher on the opposing team has to go toe-to-toe with Yamamoto, has to go toe-to-toe with Blake Snell. The fourth best pitcher on the opposing team has got to go toe-to-toe with Shohei, Glasnow. It doesn't matter the order. My point is that ace after ace every single night through the first four games. Okay, well, what happens after that? Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw has expressed interest in coming back, whatever that means. Bobby Miller, still on your team. I know that guy's the hype behind him. He hasn't lived up to that hype. Who cares? That's your fifth starter. I haven't even mentioned Roki Sasaki, and I don't know if this makes Roki Sasaki more likely or less likely to sign with the Dodgers. It's going to have nothing to do with money, so it's not going to be a financial thing. Maybe there's a little bit of a financial thing because of what you can get in endorsements and everything else, but their starting rotation, Glasnow, Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Shohei Ohtani. And I haven't mentioned anything about the bats or the bullpen or any of that other stuff. That's just their four that they're going to have. I do think that Shohei has kind of he's churned up the pressure on the organization, but I also think there's no pressure now on the organization. They got their World Series. So what do they have to worry about? If the Dodgers won, let me be conservative on this. And I know in baseball anything can happen, and I know in the playoffs anything can happen. Let's say the Dodgers won one more World Series over the next 5 years. That's 2 World Series in 6 years. Basically, you're playing with house money for the next couple of years. I'm not saying that, people wouldn't be disappointed or they would say, look, the Dodgers lost. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you just got one. Nobody's repeated since the Yankees back in that, what was that stretch, 99 to 2002 or 98 to whatever it was that they repeated. They win 3 in a row. Nobody's repeated in a long time. It's not like it's a guarantee or a lock just because the Dodgers have the team that they have that they're guaranteed to win. All they could do is stack the deck and see what happens. And that's exactly what the Dodgers are doing. Latest World Series odds that are out there. I saw this. This is what we got. The Dodgers are plus 380. This is before kind of finding out what happens to Juan Soto and a couple of these other, key free agents. And by the way, before finding out what happens to Roki Sasaki, before happening what happens to Teoscar Hernandez, there's other, key players that are out there in the market. Walker Buehler. Dodgers are plus 380. Yankees are plus 650. Atlanta's plus 800. Philly is plus 1,000. And then the New York Mets round out the top 5 at plus 1,100. Of course, the Dodgers are going to be, clearly they're going to be the favorites again, and I don't think there's any question about that. All right, let's look at some of your comments here, and then my next topic is going to be: is this good for the game of baseball? And my real hope is that I can have a healthy conversation with baseball fans out there and Dodger fans to try to take their, try to take their position out of being a Dodger fan for a second and just try to have that conversation about just baseball in general. What the Dodgers are doing is this good for baseball? Is it not? So we'll get into that as well. Let me read a couple of these comments. Appreciate the supers, by the way. Is this who the Lakers are? Are they trash? I am going to hold on to that comment, and we're going to get to that coming up in a little bit. And when I do talk Lakers, I will come back to you on that comment. And, maybe they're trash. The hell do I know? Okay, so these are actually 2 Laker ones. I'll come back to those. People like talking Lakers. What do you want me to do? They see Al, and they're like, Al, what do you think of that starting lineup? All right, let's see a couple of these comments here. Are you going to have baklava for baklava? You like the way I pronounce it? Not baklava, baklava. That's how you properly announce that. We'll save that for Ashley, and don't you worry about what I'm having. Okay, BC. Dodgers got Snell. What do San Diegans think of that, Sliwa? Okay, let me say this. I don't think it really has anything to do with San Diego. I think all of Major League Baseball right now is waking up this morning. I don't care if you're a Mets fan. I don't care if you're a Yankees fan. I don't care if you're a Phillies fan, Baltimore fan, Cleveland fan. I think all of Major League Baseball is sitting back and saying, how the hell does anyone compete with this? It's a fair question, right? I think it's a fair question. I don't think they're done. I think they'll find ways to add more. I think it's not just about San Diegans or anything like that. I think all of Major League Baseball is saying, how do you compete with this squad? How do you compete with this squad every single day, night in and night out? All right, let's see what else we got here. Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping I have a good dialogue with people out there and not just your team sucks. All right, that sounds good. Thank you. Can we have a good dialogue? All right, let's see what we got here. Dodgers didn't re-sign Manny, so they don't go after all free agents. They're smart. Listen, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about don't hate the player, hate the game. No one should hate the Dodgers for doing what they're doing. They're playing within the rules. They are 100% playing within the rules. The Dodgers are great for baseball because the Dodgers are bigger than baseball. This is just happening now. I think this last maybe, let's call it 5-6 years, did the Dodgers just all of a sudden start becoming, a brand. Yankees are the most popular brand in baseball, period. Lakers are the most popular brand in basketball, period. Cowboys are the most popular brand in football, period. They are. Those are, if you're just looking at the major sports, those are the three. Dodgers are walking into territory that's changing their brand. And it's taking it to a completely different level. And that was before Shohei, but obviously Shohei has taken them to a completely different level. Dodgers need to put as many starting pitchers in the bank as they can because they always end up getting injured. It never fails. Snell posted a picture. Yep, he got that. He's got that picture there. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. Here's my question to anybody who's watching the show, and give my opinion on this as well. Is this good for baseball? All right, that's going to be a lot of the conversation today. Basically, anybody that's not a Dodger fan, that question is going to come up. Hey, is this good for baseball? And my hope is that I can get Dodger fans to try to get their perspective on this. Again, just do me a favor. Try as best as you can to say, let me see what my perspective is on this, and see if there's any way that you can give your opinion on it. I'm going to start off by saying this. The Dodgers didn't just become a good organization last year. Okay? Since the Guggenheim Group took over the Dodgers in 2012, they've been a really good organization, period. There's no, if you look at, and I was looking at it this morning, if you look at the Dodgers just year by year, the one thing that this ownership group has been able to do, it's not easy in sports to do this. The one thing that they've been able to do is they are guaranteeing the Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. That's not easy. Okay, if you get into the postseason, anything can happen. So if you get in the playoffs, and I know Dodgers have had, whether they lost in the World Series or they lost in the NLDS or NLCS, they've had ups and downs like no other team in the World Series, but they also now have 2 World Series. But since the Guggenheim Group took over, they have 100% put themselves in a position where they're in the running every single year. They're going to win anywhere from 90 games to, and 90 is probably on the low end. I think 91 is the low end, or they're going to win up to 111 games. That's how good the Dodgers have been since the Guggenheim Group took over. They're always a top 5 team in the farm system. They're a good organization. I don't care how much money they spend. They're a good organization. They're a good organization because they crop their own players. They got a ton of players in the farm system that they're able to bring up, that they're able to churn into everyday Major League Baseball players. When they need to make a trade, they make a trade. They develop their own guys. They identify the right stars to go out there and get. There's no one questioning, are the Dodgers a good? Mets have a lot of money. Yankees have a lot of money. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of money. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but I think for the Dodgers, what it guarantees is they're going to make the playoffs every single year. The market is incredible. It's an incredible baseball market. The number 2 market in the country has got an unbelievable hunger for Dodgers and that fan base, and they show up every single night, and there's 50,000+ people that are there. They have entrenched themselves in the culture of LA, and then outside of LA, that certainly has gone to their advantage. This is my question, and these are the things that I don't understand in baseball. If money can't buy you a World Series, it can definitely help you. It can definitely put you in a position it will guarantee you a playoff spot, like I mentioned. This is the thing I don't understand about baseball. I'm gonna go first off that deferred money. The deferred money thing still doesn't make any sense to me. How the best player in baseball in Shohei Ohtani can sign a $700 million contract, but you don't have to pay him until he's no longer playing baseball anymore. Do you know the Dodgers now are close to? I saw this. Again, this is not the Dodgers' fault. This is all the Dodgers are doing are playing within the lines. This is all the Dodgers are doing is basically what are the rules that you guys have set for Major League Baseball? We're going to play within those lines. We're just going to be better at it than everybody else. So this isn't a Dodgers problem. This isn't a you know, well, I can't believe the Dodgers are able to do it. That's not the Dodgers' fault. I'm asking this question from a Major League Baseball perspective. Do you know the Dodgers' deferred payroll it was $915 million after I think Will Smith got his deal last year during the season. Okay, now you're going to add obviously more money to that because there is a portion of Blake Snell's money that is deferred money as well. Shohei's got deferred money. Mookie's got deferred money. Freddie's got deferred money. Even Teoscar Hernandez in his one-year deal has some deferred money. They're going to be close to $1 billion in deferred money, which basically means the Dodgers do not have to pay that until those contracts are done is when they'll start have to paying that. Now that bill's going to come due, but I don't think the Dodgers care. The Dodgers are like basically taking out a loan and saying, okay, so we could just keep printing money here, spending all this money, and we don't, whatever these bills are, we don't have to worry about. Who cares what those bills are down the road? We got Shohei and Mookie, and go look at how many people are coming to our games and everything else. Someone explain to me why there isn't a cap on deferred money. Someone explain that one to me. Why isn't there, hey, you can defer up to 25% of your contract? Just some type of a cap. Because what Shohei did, and this is kind of the chess piece versus checkers, what Shohei did for the Dodgers is, I'm signing with you. You don't have to pay me a dime. You're paying me $2 million a year. You don't have to pay me a dime. I'm going to also bring in just boatloads of money that are going to come in. And now go out there and sign Glass now and go sign Blake Snell and go sign Teoscar Hernandez and go sign all these players on top of it so that we just keep continuing to stack the deck. That's the one thing in baseball I don't understand. Why would you allow teams to defer money as much as they're doing? And I know the Dodgers are not the only team to defer money. I know this didn't happen once Shohei signed with the Dodgers, but that's a portion of baseball I don't fully understand. Okay, here's another portion of baseball that I don't fully understand. A salary cap. I know the owners, I know the players don't want a salary cap. I understand that. I understand why they don't. They don't want to be like the NBA, and all of a sudden the owners have a lot more control. The players' union is as strong as they come. But are we sure we want teams this far apart from each other of what they're going to spend? I mean, how do you level the playing field as best as you can? I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier. This is not a Dodgers issue. This is a baseball issue. The Dodgers are playing within the rules. The Dodgers aren't cheating. The Dodgers aren't doing anything they're not allowed to do. The Dodgers are playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. And they're able to do that for a number of reasons. And there are other big market teams that are in baseball, and they just can't do it as good as the Dodgers. Maybe you don't change anything. Maybe this, when the dust settles, you just look at the Dodgers and you just say, this is their window. I don't think this window is going anywhere, by the way, because they got a taste of success that Guggenheim Group has found the perfect combination of. By the way, that ownership group, a lot of teams should take some notes on. Go find the right people and get the hell out of the way. And it feels like that's what the Dodgers have done. Andrew Friedman, they went out and got probably part of the reason why they got Blake Snell is because his relationship with Snell out in Tampa. But just where baseball is sitting today, I have a difficult time understanding why there aren't more rules to just say, yeah, we know big market teams are going to have an advantage, not all the time. We know that there's some teams out there, just it could be Tampa Bay is a good example. Other teams out there that less money for them and they're able to just be more strategic. We know good franchises exist and bad franchises exist. But I have a difficult time understanding how a squad can have $1 billion in deferrals, and we obviously have no salary cap or anything like that. Dodgers are just separating themselves further and further from the pack, and I don't think there's a solution out there. But I'll go back to my original question: is this good for baseball? Outside of just being a Dodger fan, is it good for baseball? I think is a fair question here. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Let's take a look at some of the comments. All right, here's what we got. J Sports, thank you very much for the super, my brother. Is this good for baseball? It's a win-win for baseball and Dodger fans. As opposed to the NBA, baseball actually grew its viewership last season. Well, I think I don't know about. I think anytime you have big market teams in it, Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series, yes, if you can get if you can get Lakers and the Celtics every year in the NBA Finals, if you can get Lakers and the Knicks in the NBA Finals, how's that going to do for viewership? Of course, you got the two top markets. But let me explain something to you from an NFL perspective. In the NFL, you don't need big markets to have crazy ratings. Buffalo and KC played each other. What was that? Maybe 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Those aren't big market teams. Go look at what those ratings did. I think your league is the healthiest when you're not dependent just on the market. So, I think that would be the question. And listen, the NFL is king, so there might not be a solution to any of that stuff. But Jay, I appreciate the super. I don't know if that's the angle that I would take. I think there's probably better angles or more things to explain from that perspective. All right, let's get another one here. Sleeve, free enterprise system. They have and have nots. It's the system setup. Some owners refuse to spend the cash and they make it their team to make their teams better. If you can't sign players, sell the team. Let me tell you something. I hope I'm coming off giving the proper credit to the Dodgers. The way I started this conversation is I give a lot of the credit to the Dodgers and that Guggenheim group. You're right. There are owners out there that are not reinvesting back into their team. The Dodgers clearly got no problem reinvesting into their team. That's exactly what they're doing. The Dodgers they're not sitting back and saying, you know what, we won a World Series. Let's start selling some of these players off, whether Dodger fans like it or not. Let's just cash in and now keep the money for ourselves. No, they're reinvesting right back in. And what was our payroll last year? Cool. Let's keep going. It's more the system I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the Dodgers. Here's another great one. Dodgers had a strong farm before all these deferrals. I never said anything about the farm system. I complimented the farm system. I was looking at one of the latest farm systems, but I don't even need to look at it. They're always top 5. Usually they're 1 or 2 or 3. They're always top 5. In one of the latest ratings that I saw, this was ranking the MLB farm system out there. It might have been right after the trade deadline, and this was on MLB.com. They were 5th. And look at the teams that are top 5. And this tells you the Dodgers play in both pools. They spend money and they got some of the best scouting in all of baseball. Tampa's number 1. They have no choice but to have a good farm system. Minnesota's number 2. They have no choice but to have a strong farm system. Baltimore is number 3, same position. Number 4 is Cleveland, and then number 5 is the Dodgers. All the teams that are top 5 in that farm system are all squads that have to be top 5 in the farm system. They don't have any other choice. The Dodgers are saying, not only are we going to be the best with who we sign, not only do we have all the money in the world, but we're also going to, like I mentioned, from a farm system perspective, put themselves in a spot there. Get a couple more here. Can't argue that. Can't argue. They're a well-oiled organization. I really cannot argue that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Market matters in baseball. Look at the Rangers versus D-backs, World Series, lowest rated in years. Yeah, I here's what I don't want to, and I think the argument is the conversation, maybe this is where you guys are taking the conversation. Maybe you guys are saying, no, the Dodgers are such a good brand or a big brand they're better for business if they're in the mix here. I guess what I'm saying is this a level playing field? And baseball does not seem like a level playing field from my perspective. Where I could tell you football, pretty level playing field. Basketball, Lakers are going to have advantages on things, but Denver can go out and win a championship. Some of these other teams. And actually, as I sit here, I mean, you look at the last 10 years or so, there's been a lot of small market. Nationals won a World Series. Texas just won a World Series. Arizona got to the World Series. So we're probably not at a position by any stretch to say, this has got out of whack. But it feels like the Dodgers are going towards a position where that's where it's going to end up being. Okay, I'm going to kind of turn the page here. Salary cap helps owners like Bus and Spano's ownership. All I'm saying is having a more level playing field is ultimately, I think, good for the game. What the Dodgers are doing right now, they're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I'm going to finish it off, and this will be my last thing on the Dodgers, and we're going to move on from the Dodgers. Last thing I'm going to say is this is not the Dodgers' fault. Dodgers are playing they're playing the game. They're just playing it better than everybody else. And then they have all these other things that on top of the advantages that they have, they're taking full advantage of it. All right, let's talk some Lakers basketball here. By the way, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for especially on days like this where it's like, all right, it's right before Thanksgiving. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you guys doing it. Let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little Lakers basketball. Lakers lost again last night, and they lost to the Phoenix Suns. It's interesting. I'm doing the post-game show, and I had somebody in one of the comments say, it doesn't matter how much they lost by, whether it's 30 points or 3 points, they lost the game. I couldn't disagree more. I got a little concerned with the Lakers here, and I'll read. I know there's some supers in there. So I'm going to get to those supers here in just a second. Here's my concern with the Lakers. They lost their last 2 games, and they didn't just lose. They got their asses kicked. They got blown out, right? They lost really bad game on Saturday versus the Denver Nuggets. These were, by the way, and then the loss yesterday to the Phoenix Suns. These were supposed to be great tests. I know I've kind of mentioned this a couple different times. I look forward to games like this. Why do I look forward to games like this? Because I just want to see where the Lakers are at. Show me what this team looks like when KD's in the lineup for Phoenix, what Bradley Beal's in the lineup. Nikola Jokic was out for some personal reasons. I want to see these guys in the lineup so we have a good let's see what they look like. So we get a chance these last couple of games to watch the Lakers, and a couple of things happen. I do think it matters how you lose. These are not just, hey, strategically the Lakers didn't execute towards the end. Let me give you an example. Loss against Orlando was a bad loss, but I know why they lost. They lost because Anthony Davis missed 3 of 4 free throws, and the Lakers went 3 of 9 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. That's why they lost that game. You could point at other things, but that's basically why they lost that game. Why'd they lose against Denver? Why'd they lose against Phoenix? I can show you a list of 97 reasons why they lost. That's much more concerning to me. So I don't think every loss is created equal. I feel like listening to the post-game shows, listening to JJ Redick, listening to a couple of the other guys, a lot of excuses being made. Lakers in these last 2 games, all right, it's kind of the crazy thing, and this actually brings me to JJ Redick here. 2 things I got on JJ Redick that I'm trying to figure out. All right. So they get outscored in that Denver game. So halftime comes, Lakers are up 6, and they come out to start the game on Saturday night. They get outscored in that third quarter, 37-15. All right. You know what? Maybe that was just one bad game. By the way, Denver a couple nights later give up 145 points to the Knicks, and they get blown out at home. Yesterday, it's a 2-point game at halftime. And, you're kind of sitting back. You're saying, okay, Lakers right in exactly where they need to be. Let's see if they can pull away, or it's a close game in the fourth quarter, and let's see who executes better. Suns come out in the third quarter, and they outscore the Lakers 36-18. So Lakers in their last 2 games in the third quarter, they're outscored by 22, and they're outscored by 18. They're outscored by 40 points in the last two third quarters. So you go into halftime either with a lead or it's a tight game. By the time the fourth quarter starts, the game is over. Are they exposing J.J. Redick? Are the two coaches from the opposing team, who are, by the way, championship coaches, Michael Malone, Mike Budenholzer, are they going into halftime and saying, okay, we got it. We know what the Lakers are trying to do. We know exactly how they're trying to beat us, what their game plan is. Let's make these couple adjustments. Ball game. Is J.J. Redick getting exposed in these last couple of games coming out of half because he's getting outcoached? He had the quote a couple days ago about his team. Basically, the effort wasn't there. Is something else happening other than just you're losing games? Because all of a sudden, that cushion that the Lakers had, where they started the season out 10-4, and we were talking about how great this is and how Dalton Knecht is changing the entire perspective for the Lakers, and you're feeling really, really good about where the Lakers are sitting. And finally, a good start for the Lakers. Where are they going to be through 20 games? Well, through 17 games now, they're 10-7. They got San Antonio tonight, who's won 4 games in a row and are beating some good teams in the process. And we saw the Spurs a couple weeks ago, and San Antonio looked really, really good in that game. And then they got arguably the best team in the Western Conference and one of the best teams in the NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder that are coming on Friday. They're in LA. We could be sitting here by the time we get to Saturday, and the Lakers could be on a 5-game losing streak, and they could be 10-9. And whatever cushion that they had is gone. And now they're just kind of hovering around that 500 mark and where they are in the standings. Now that conversation is going to start being again about, okay, is this a play-in team? What are they going to do? How much draft compensation do they have to give up in order to just be somewhat effective or somewhat in the mix? I don't know, but I just know in the last week, this changed drastically. A chance to go 11-4, beat the Orlando Magic. You're at home. They don't have Paulo Banchero. And then a couple days later, 10-7, and not just losing, getting absolutely beat up by 2 Western Conference teams that you think are going to be in the playoffs in Denver and in Phoenix. Those tests that we were talking about for the Lakers, they failed miserably. And I kind of shift my attention towards J.J. Redick. Do you got these guys ready? Are they playing hard enough? Is your lineups, do you have the right lineups in there? How can you possibly get outscored by 40 in the third quarter in 2 straight games? There's a lot of question marks that I think are up there for the Lakers now that I didn't have before that are all of a sudden starting to pop up. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of your comments here. And a lot of those that sent the supers that I wasn't able to read, my apologies here. Let's get to them now. Is this who the Lakers are? Are they trash? I don't think they're trash, but I think they're playing some trash basketball over the last week. Here's going to be the biggest issue for the Lakers. Biggest issue for the Lakers is going to be, can you get stops? Because if they're depending on putting up 100, 125 points a game, and that's how they're going to beat teams, and they're not going to have any DNA on the defensive side, yeah, this season's not going to take very long to come to an end. Got to get stops. I don't think they're trash. I don't. But I think they're in a little bit of trouble. I think they're in an interesting spot here that I wasn't expecting when we watched the first month of Lakers basketball. We could very easily, I don't know if you guys remember this. I did this about maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. I was like showing, here are the Lakers through their first 13 games. Here's what it's been over the last few years. Here's what the Lakers have done over the last 3 years through 20 games. And they were pacing like they were going to be at worst 13-7. If everything went right, 14-6. Well, now I think you're looking at, if they're 12-8, if they can kind of split these next 2 games and then beat that game against the Utah Jazz, I'll take 12-8 all day long based off of what's happened here over the last week. All right, let's say a couple more here. AR, thank you very much for the super, brother. I appreciate you. Good morning, Slee. Now, we coach JJ. It's really shown he's a rookie coach. Last night, Phoenix also made a second-half change, and they both won decisively. I like DK starting lineup instead of Rui. I'm going to get into Dalton Knecht in a second, and we'll do that in just a sec. But that's why I'm bringing up the JJ Redick stuff. When I see teams get completely dominated in that third quarter, well, that I look at coaching, because I'm saying to myself, that squad is going in and making the adjustments. What adjustments are you making? How come they're able to make adjustments? Two coaches that have won NBA championships. Michael Malone did it in Denver. Budenholzer did it in Milwaukee. These are championship pedigree coaches. They walked into the second half and said, we got it. We know what they're doing. We're going to make these adjustments and this game is over. That happened 2 straight games. Let me hit on Dalton Knecht here real quick. AR, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you. If you got some ass sleeves, throw them in. I got one here that I'm going to get to in just in a little bit. So we'll get to that in just a second. Dalton Knecht. I'm not telling you that if Dalton Knecht was in the starting lineup, the Lakers would have beat Denver and they would have beat the Phoenix Suns. I'm not telling you that that's what happened. But here's what I am telling you. That if I asked you, what is the thing that has stood out to you most so far this year? The thing to me that I think stood out more than anything else so far this season is Dalton Knecht's play. Not J.J. Redick, not LeBron, not Anthony Davis, not when Vando's coming back, not Austin Reeves, not D'Angelo Russell going from a starter to the bench. The thing that has stood out to me more than anything else so far this year for the Lakers is they got a rookie that's going to be a player in this league for a long time. That's the one highlight I take away from this season so far is they got a dude at number 17 that looks like a guy that's going to be playing 30, 35 minutes a night. Again, I'm going to go back to this. I'm not telling you Dalton Knecht gets out of the starting lineup, Lakers start getting blown out. I'm not saying that's why they lost those games. But here's what I will tell you. Dalton Knecht last night didn't play enough minutes. Dalton Knecht, it looks like his rhythm, because he's not playing with LeBron. He's not playing as many minutes with Anthony Davis. He's not playing as many minutes with Austin Reeves, just strictly because he's not in the starting lineup, I think is killing the flow of Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht played 19 minutes last night. Here's a guy that has been the best storyline so far this year, has games where he's dropping 37 points, had a stretch there where he went 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 5 of 10 from the three-point line, 9 of 12 from the three-point line, was shooting a clip 60+% from the three-point line over a 3-game stretch. You got to get Dalton Knecht back in the starting lineup. I don't care how you do it. You know, sometimes I say, well, even if he's not a starter, he'll play starter minutes. Nope. Put Dalton Knecht back in the starting lineup. That guy helped that entire squad figure out. He made everybody's life just a little bit easier. And he also took a Laker fan base that was kind of like, all right, you know, let's see what happens this year. He took them to another level. He got them excited again. He got them, you know, results, proven results. Clearly, he needs to be in the lineup. He's a player. He's an absolute sniper. He can't be playing 19 minutes in a game. He just can't. And at this stage, where the Lakers are sitting, I don't care if there was an argument before that, well, you can't take a player that was out with an injury and then take away his starting spot. We trying to win or no? Somebody tell me that you feel comfortable night in and night out with what Rui Hachimura brings to the table. I don't. I don't know what Rui's going to bring to the table. I think I mentioned to you guys. I got a chance. I'm at the game on Saturday. We get a chance to go into the locker room before the game starts. Sat down. Well, not sat down, but Rui's sitting down. Had a conversation with Rui. How are things going? How are you feeling? We talked a little bit about Jokic, this and that. How do you think the team is doing? The nicest guy in the world. Literally the nicest guy in the world. Rui's awesome. I don't have confidence night in and night out that Rui Hachimura is going to come through for the Lakers. I just don't. And if the Lakers are going to bench D'Angelo and basically say it's in the best interest of the team, I don't care who comes out of the starting lineup, but Dalton Knecht needs to be a starter for the Lakers. That is the best story that the Lakers have had going this year. And the guy is productive and he's making it happen. And like I said, there's a trickle-down effect when he's in these games. Play Dalton Knecht, get him in the starting lineup, and you better be playing him more than 25, closer to 30, 35 minutes a game. That's what I want to see from this Lakers team. So if I'm JJ Redick, I got 2 questions for JJ. What's happening at halftime where all of a sudden these other teams are making adjustments and the Lakers look completely lost? And why is Dalton Knecht not playing 30-plus minutes a night? Get him back in the starting lineup. That's my take on what I've seen these last couple of games. And I do understand, and I'm going to say it again, I am not telling you that by playing Dalton Knecht as a starter, the Lakers were going to win these last 2 games. But we got to figure something out. And I think moving Dalton to the bench is not one of those solutions. So, AR, I appreciate you bringing up that conversation. Okay, I got another one here. AR again, Slee independent. It's not like getting paid from third party. You guys already know he's here Monday through Friday, like clockwork. Thank you, Slee. AR, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I am independent. I'm independent Slee, Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube. We are turning this into our day-to-day business, and so far so good. I'm excited where the channel is going. So AR, thank you very much, brother. All right, let's see some more here. This will be interesting. Vando, when he comes back. I was talking, who was I talking to yesterday? Sammy and I were talking. I was telling Sammy, I'm like, listen, when Vando comes back, here's what I would do. I would put Vando in place of Rui. I would put Dalton in place of Cam Reddish. So you're basically going Austin Reeves. You're going Dalton Knecht. You got your defensive player in Vanderbilt. And then you got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis. But I don't know when the hell Vando's coming back. So why would I make that assumption if we have no idea when he's coming back? All right, let's see what else we have here. Ooh, John Ferris, that's a great question. It's the original rookie. The OG rook. Dalton Knecht, he's like, he's new. He's new. We're just kind of trying to figure him out. All right, let's see what we got here. Need to start Dalton. Vando is a cult hero in the chat. I know everybody's frustrated with Vando and when he's coming back, but I do think when he does come back, God, I feel like I've been saying that for 3 years. Probably have. I do feel like when he does come back, I do feel there is going to be, it could kind of change the dynamic a little bit of what the Lakers can do with some of their guys. All right, let's see another one here. JJ Redick, JJ not ready. Need to force Blanca to trade for big bodies. Miles Turner, Valanciunas. Do something. Vando can't shoot. Jonas is a bad fit. All right, everybody's kind of giving their opinions on specifically. Vando realistically won't be back. He'll come back. Let's see what else we got here. That's a great question. Is Vando good for basketball? All right, I got a lot of people who are basically saying you can't count on Vando. This is where I tune out on Lakers. It's been 2 years. As soon as Vando comes back and offers out nothing but pipe dreams. We could use those players. I think that's kind of the point here. We could definitely use those players. Okay. If you got some ass sleeves, throw them in right now. Here's one ass sleeve. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the Thanksgiving spread, what that's going to actually look like. Dub T. Are you going to have... So you guys say baklava, right? That's how somebody who's... Baklawa is how a Middle Eastern person would say it. Dessert on Thanksgiving. Are you having baklava dessert for Thanksgiving? So that's a Middle Eastern dessert. Okay, I got to be honest with everybody here. It's not like my top choice. There's going to be other stuff that's out there. I prefer some pie. That's what I want for dessert coming up tomorrow. This is how Thanksgiving goes in a Middle Eastern household, and I'm sure there's a lot of people wherever you're from. It's probably a similar thing. Basically, tomorrow will be a Middle Eastern feast with a turkey. Mashed potatoes and gravy, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's like a 40% chance that shows up on the table tomorrow. Ham, probably not. Like, I don't think that's... I think it's basically going to be all Middle Eastern food. There'll be some certain... so one of my favorite dishes, one of my favorite Middle Eastern dishes out there, it's this curry that we have. It's kind of like a yellow curry soup, a stew with potatoes and beef in there. And they kind of, with onions and garlic in there as well. And all the season they have, and it goes over a bed of rice. It's amazing. Usually yellow rice. But basically, as we celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, let's just say there's Baghdad, Iraq will be in the house, because that's going to be most of the food, and then a Thanksgiving turkey. So that's how typically the spread is. The spread's amazing. I was telling a buddy of mine who grew up in Orange County and not Middle Eastern or anything like that. And when I tell him what the spread is, he's like, I'm going to fly from Maryland. I'm going to fly from Annapolis just to come have Thanksgiving dinner. All right, I'm going to read some more of these Ask Sleaze. If you got some Ask Sleaze, throw them in here real quick. Should LA trade Max Christie? He's disappointed. They just signed him too. They just gave him that 4-year, $8 million a year. Let me tell you this. I don't think a lot of people are losing sleep over Max Christie. Here's the problem if they did trade him. Would he just all of a sudden become good with another team? We see that with Scottie Pippen Jr. We've seen that with some of these other players that were Lakers or they came up through the Lakers in the G League or something like that. And then all of a sudden they're having success with other teams. That is not a good sign for your organization when a player is not doing well here and then they go off somewhere else and all of a sudden they start playing well. Let's see what we got here. No, not Italian. Not Italian. It might sound like Italian every once in a while. Slee, go live during Thanksgiving so we can send super chats. Probably not going to do that, but here's what I am going to do. What I will do is I'll take some video tomorrow of what that spread looks like. We'll just throw that bad boy up on YouTube. You guys can take a look at it. All right, personal thankful for everyone in the chat. Bunch of legends. Have a great Turkey Day, y'all. Thank you. I'm definitely thankful for everybody in the chat as well. All right, a couple more here, and then I got my weekend preview coming up. We're going to get into that as well. Slee, you want to come by for an Assyrian Thanksgiving? Oof. That's what I need. That's all I need. I just want invites from people just saying, hey, here's our Mexican Thanksgiving. Hey, here's our Asian Thanksgiving. I want to try. You guys know this. I've said this all the time. I said that I first off, I love international food. And they used to always say, wait, what are you doing for the Super Bowl? I'm like, I'm probably getting sushi or I'm going to get Indian food. I just want all these different countries around the world. I just want to try everybody's food. That's all I want. That's all I'm looking for. All right, let's keep it moving here. If you guys got some comments here, feel free to put them in and we'll keep going. Okay, weekend preview. Here's what we got coming up this weekend. Kind of crazy here, right? One of the cool things about this Thanksgiving holiday and everything else is we got some really good sports going on this weekend. So in the NBA, let me just get this out of the way. Lakers got the Spurs tonight. Damn, if they lose again, make it 4 in a row. Against Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. Not a good look. Lakers got the Spurs coming up tonight, so obviously something to keep in mind there. I want to see just to make sure here as far as tip-off goes. 5:30 is tip-off. So I'll do a post-game show right after. In the NBA, kind of some good games tonight. Knicks at the Mavs. Thunder at the Warriors. So we'll get some Lakers basketball at 5:30, and then a little bit later in the evening, we're going to have some good matchups that are out there. Sacramento at Minnesota, I think, is a pretty decent game. The OKC Golden State game's at 7 o'clock, so Laker game ends. We'll do post game. Then you can watch that. That's on ESPN. So a couple good games coming up tonight in the NBA. Okay, NFL. Here's what we got going on in the NFL. Tomorrow, Bears and the Lions. I used to bitch and complain always about the games, and I still will do that on Thanksgiving. I'm like, why do we have to keep playing these trash teams on Thanksgiving? I don't want to watch the Lions. Well, now I want to watch the Lions. They're 10-1. So Bears, Lions, Giants, Cowboys. Giants, Cowboys, honestly, they should air that on like ESPN 7, ESPN Classics. Don't put that on regular TV. Nobody wants to watch that trash. And then Dolphins, Packers, actually, I think is going to be a good matchup. That's the 5:20 game. Something to keep in mind there. The only other really thing to keep in mind in the NFL, Chargers are at Falcons. That's a pretty decent game that will be coming up. What was the other good game that I saw? If you're a Rams fan, Rams at Saints, kind of desperate to go get that win. Eagles, Ravens on Sunday in the afternoon. Niners, Bills on Sunday Night Football. So Niners trying to hold on for their dear life. Eagles, Ravens is a badass game. Two teams that have just great great running backs, great quarterbacks. They have that kind of that smash, their style of football, smash mouth. So that should be a good game. Last thing that I'm going to mention here, and this is from a college football perspective. The only real game that I saw, like in the actual top 25, that I saw interesting, and it's not even really that interesting, USC and Notre Dame. The reason why I say it's not that interesting is because, unfortunately, SC still has nothing to play for. All the other games, Michigan, Ohio State, but Michigan's not good. South Carolina and Clemson, that's an interesting game because it's number 16 versus number 12. I mentioned the Notre Dame USC game. Auburn's got Alabama, so there's some other games, but nothing really too great there. I'm gonna read a couple of these comments, and then we're done for the day. Slee, have you ever gone on a walk with your cousins before Thanksgiving dinner? Not before. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. No, 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 I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I'll come in and yeah, I'll be guilty as charged. What we have done is we have done our eat basically 7 meals, and then it's like I got to go for I 100% got to go for a walk. That's a little bit different of a scenario than the walk that you're talking about. Slee, it's 9 a.m. Are you getting paid OT? I'll email our PR department, our HR department. I will email them. They probably won't get back to me. All right. I think, yeah, some people will come prepared. That part is 100% true. Okay, my people. Real quick here. We are done for the week. I'll be back on tonight doing the post-game show. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, would be phenomenal if you can do that. Appreciate you guys hanging out as much as you guys have. I'm going to keep cutting up clips and putting them up and doing everything we can to try to get as much content on this channel as possible. If you guys ever have feedback, you ever want to give feedback, you ever want to kind of give your thoughts on the show, feel free to do so. Anybody can email me, my first and last name at gmail.com, AlanSlewa@gmail.com. So thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you very much for hanging out. I hope you guys have a phenomenal Thanksgiving. If you guys are not tuned in tonight, I hope you guys have a phenomenal Thanksgiving. I hope you guys, obviously enjoy time with the family and everything else. AR, again, appreciate it. AR is throwing supers here like no tomorrow. I appreciate you, my brother. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody on the chat. Hope you guys have a great couple of days to kind of sit, relax, and enjoy time with the family. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be back on tonight after the Lakers take on the Spurs. Thanks, guys.